In the beginning of the drama, we saw our female lead Yugji, who was lying in her room. She was turning sides again and again, and she was not getting sleep at all. She had a problem of insomnia, and in her mind, continuous thoughts were running that were making her tired. She stayed awake like this the whole night. In the morning, she got up and started doing her exercise. At that moment, her mother came out of the room, and when she saw her lying on the floor, she got scared. She thought maybe something bad had happened to her, but after a short time, she understood that Yugji was just doing exercise. At the same time, her father had prepared breakfast, and all three sat peacefully and started having breakfast. During breakfast, her mother told her that she had fixed an appointment with a doctor for the same day so that a solution to her sleep problem could be found. She also explained that she should stop getting so deeply involved in her work because this was the biggest reason for her tiredness and stress. But in Yuji's life, there was nothing except work. Work had become her only focus, and her whole life was revolving around it. When she reached the hospital, she went to the clinic where she had to meet the doctor. But when she reached there, she saw that the doctor was about to go somewhere. As soon as he opened the door, Yugji almost bumped into him. The doctor apologized politely and asked if she was okay. Yugji said she was fine, but when she looked into his eyes, she got surprised seeing how beautiful they were and could not hide her reaction. After that, she immediately called her friend and told her that the doctor she came to meet had very beautiful eyes. She guessed that maybe her friend would also like this doctor because she liked good-looking boys. Her friend told her to try to make the doctor remove his mask so she could describe his face properly. Meanwhile, the doctor came back and asked if her appointment was with him. Yugji looked at the name on his lab coat, which was Lynn, and said yes. She remembered his name and went inside with him. In the next scene, she sat on the chair and kept watching him, waiting for the moment he would remove his mask. At the same time, the doctor checked her pulse by holding her wrist, but noticed her attention was somewhere else. He told her to stop thinking so he could check properly and understand the reason for her insomnia. But Yugji ignored him and directly asked if he could remove his mask. The doctor refused clearly and stayed calm. After that, Yugji finally accepted that she was tiring herself too much because of work. The doctor continued the checkup and told her to open her eyes fully so he could examine properly. But because she kept staring at him, he felt a little uncomfortable. After some time, he told her that her problem was caused by overthinking and working without rest. He advised her to take care of her diet, stop drinking coffee and milk tea, and exercise regularly. He also told her to take medicines on time, then wrote a prescription and gave it to her. After that, when Yugji came out, the doctor noticed a paper she had folded into a frog and smiled, finding it cute and unexpected. Then when Yugji reached the pharmacy, no one was there. At that moment, Dr. Lynn came and told her it only opens for limited hours, so she should come back in the afternoon. Saying this, he left. Later, the nurse repeated the same thing. A few days later, meanwhile, Lynn passed by the pharmacy but did not see Yugji and felt surprised. Later, he found out her father had taken the medicine. When Yugji drank it, it tasted very bitter, but she forced herself to drink it. At night, her condition became worse because she could not sleep at all. Her mind was filled with thoughts about her boyfriend Young, who wanted to break up because she was always busy and did not give him time. On the other hand, Lynn was handling an emergency and saved a patient. The next morning, Yugji went to a bakery and complained to her friend in a voice message that she could not sleep and the medicine did not work properly. After that, Yugji said that the medicine had no effect at all. Suddenly, Lynn came behind her and jokingly said that it seems her money got wasted. Hearing this, Yugji got nervous, but Lynn quickly clarified that medicine does not work in just one time, and it has to be taken regularly. Yugji thanked him for the advice and quickly left from there. After that, Lynn asked the bakery owner if that girl comes here often. The owner told that she lives in the same neighborhood. Hearing this, a big smile came on Lynn's face because he came to know that both of them live in the same area. The rest of the day passed normally. Yugji went to work in the hotel where she was a receptionist. During her break, she was sitting with her friend. At that moment, one of them asked about that handsome doctor she had mentioned before. Yugji started describing his features and said that he is even more attractive than she imagined. Her friend jokingly decided that next time she will go with her to the doctor appointment. Next day, when the appointment time came, both of them reached the clinic together. But after reaching there, they got surprised because the doctor they expected was not there. Instead, An older doctor was sitting there. Both got shocked for a moment. The doctor understood their disappointment and jokingly said not to worry. Even if he is not like Dr. Lynn, he is also a good doctor. After that, when Yugji came out of the clinic, her eyes fell on a beautiful flower shop. She stopped there and bought some roses. On the way back, meanwhile, she saw Lynn skating. She stood in front of him and raised her hand with flowers to stop him. She told him that she came for the appointment but was surprised not to see him there. Then she understood he was busy. At that moment, Lynn took out his phone to ask for her number, but Yugji thought it was only for clinic schedule, so she refused and said he does not need trouble for her. Then she quickly left. On the other hand, Lynn was going to his grandfather's house where he and his brother were invited for lunch. There, his grandfather lived with his student. After reaching home, he sat alone with his grandfather. His grandfather told him that a girl came for appointment and looked disappointed when she did not find him there. The old man told him to try taking her number next time and also said she is 1 year younger, so they will look good together. Lynn was affected because when he saw her first time, he felt attracted. He admitted he likes her and she is beautiful, but his grandfather got slightly annoyed and said he is focusing only on beauty. Then Lynn explained that later, he felt something special in her that pulls him more. Meanwhile, Yugji was busy in her work. At that time, she got a message from her boyfriend Young. He wrote that he is tired of her ignoring him. He said whenever he calls, she is busy and does not pick up. After reading this, Yugji quickly got ready because they had a dinner plan. When she came out of the hotel, she said goodbye to coworkers. But outside, she got surprised because Young was standing there waiting with flower. Yugji understood he was afraid she might forget the date, so he came to pick her. Both sat in his car and went to the restaurant. At the restaurant, Yugji started taking pictures of the food. Young saw her full attention was on her phone and felt disturbed because earlier she ignored his calls due to work, but now she was busy on her phone. Yugji tried to explain she was just taking pictures, but seeing Young's irritation, she also felt stressed. During dinner, Young asked about her friend and was surprised she is still single. Yugji said her friend has high standards, but Young mocked and said it is better than a girl who works only to travel and study abroad. Hearing this, Yugji felt hurt because it was a direct taunt at her, but she still stayed calm and said he already knew about her dream. But Young didn't stop there. He kept questioning her about how long she would continue working in the hotel. He even said that as long as she worked there, their marriage had no meaning. Then he added another taunt. If one of his business partners stayed in that hotel, would it be proper for his own wife to serve him? This hurt Yugji deeply. She felt that the burden of their relationship was now making her tired and overwhelmed. When she tried to explain that she was doing her best to improve their relationship, Young suddenly interrupted her, saying he had to take a call. Yugji returned home with a heavy heart, tears welling in her eyes. Once home, she asked her mother what would happen if she broke up with Young. Her mother was shocked and scolded her, asking if she had gone mad. This only made Yugji feel worse. She left the house and wandered outside, lost in her thoughts, unable to calm her racing mind. She wanted to message Young, to apologize or say something important, but could not bring herself to do it. She sat alone and started eating, her eyes still filled with tears. At that moment, Lynn appeared. He came closer and asked why she was sitting alone. Yugji quickly wiped her tears. Though Lynn had seen her crying, he did not embarrass her. He simply said she shouldn't eat cold food, and since she already had it, he told her to finish it. Then he sat beside her and asked what was troubling her. Yugji hesitated for a moment, then admitted that she had a fight with someone. Lynn quickly guessed it was about her boyfriend and asked her directly. Yugji confirmed it. Surprised, Lynn still tried to comfort her and asked the reason for the fight. Yugji said it was her fault because she could not leave some important things in her life. Lynn could feel her pain. He instructed her to bring her hand forward, place her thumb in the center of her chest, and press in circular motion. Yugji followed his instructions, but felt little relief. Then Lynn explained that this pain was not physical, it was coming from her heart. Yugji asked if this could reduce her sadness. Lynn said it could relieve some symptoms, but heartache cannot disappear so easily. He then told her she had two options: either find a way to heal her wounds or remove the thing that keeps hurting her. Slowly, his words sank in, and Yugji began to understand him. Seeing this, Lynn advised her to go home and rest. He also suggested keeping an apple near her bed, as its fragrance could help her sleep. When Yugji returned home, she went to take an apple from the fridge and was surprised to find her whole family waiting for her. They were curious to know if she was really going to break up with Young. Yugji reassured them that she would not leave him and said she was just a little upset. She then sent a message to Young, apologized, and promised to try to make things right. The next day, Yugji went to the hospital for her regular checkup. While checking her pulse, Lynn noticed that her condition had worsened since the last visit. He said he would give her medicines to help her sleep, but emphasized that it was also important to understand and address the real reason for her heartache. He asked if she had ever tried acupuncture. When Yugji said no, he asked her to lie down and explained that this treatment could help her achieve deep sleep. Yugji felt nervous because it was her first experience. Lynn placed a needle on her head, causing a slight pinch. When he was about to place another needle in her hand, Yugji kept watching him, lost in thought. Their eyes met for a moment before she quickly looked away. Seeing her reaction, Lynn smiled gently and continued the treatment. After finishing, he drew the curtain for privacy and set a timer to monitor her sleep. On his desk, he noticed the small paper frog she had made earlier and smiled. After long insomnia, Yugji finally drifted into a deep, peaceful sleep. When the time was over, Lynn carefully removed the needle. Upon waking, Yugji received a small fragrant pouch containing herbs to aid her sleep. She inhaled the aroma and found it soothing and beautiful. At that moment, Lynn thought about asking for her number, but before he could, Yugji asked him how much the herbs cost. Lynn said it was a gift from him. Yugji immediately thanked him and left. That day, after the treatment, Yugji felt a strange calm all day. But in the evening, her boyfriend called. After thinking a lot, he said he had decided to break up with her. Yugji could not believe it. She called him repeatedly, but each time he cut the call. She sat there crying, trying to write a message, but could not even form two proper words. She took a small piece of paper and tried to keep herself busy, but her mind was completely foggy. On her way home, Lynn saw her. He clearly noticed the distress on her face and guessed that maybe her boyfriend had hurt her again. At the same time, Yugji was looking at her phone and noticed her ex had posted a story on social media. She was surprised he hadn't removed her from his friend list yet. The next day, Yugji went to work exhausted. Her friends noticed her condition and advised her to rest a little because everyone knew what she was going through. Meanwhile, Lynn kept wondering when she would come to the clinic again. He could not wait any longer. He went to the reception and asked if any appointment was booked under Yuji's name. They said no. Then he decided to get her number from the administration and called her. He asked if she would come to the clinic that day since he was waiting. Yugji, busy with work, said she could not. Lynn asked about her health and suggested that if she felt tired, she should walk in a place with lots of trees and fresh air. Coincidentally, Yugji was standing in such a park surrounded by trees. It felt like Lynn's advice was exactly what she needed. Lynn then took the chance to write some medicines for her that a family member could pick up from the pharmacy. Yugji agreed. He also asked her to add him on WeChat so he could send a photo of the prescription. Finally, they got in touch. The next day, when Lynn arrived at the clinic, he saw her in the garden. Seeing her, he felt a strange emotion rise in him. He went to her and asked if she was okay. Yugji said she felt a little dizzy. Lynn said her health was most important and asked if she had finished her medicine. Yugji said she had run out. Lynn then explained about herbs and pointed to some plants in the garden that could help her. Yugji felt nervous and asked if these were traditional Chinese medicine herbs. Lynn smiled and said yes, they could really help her. At that moment, he held her hand gently and told her to be patient, almost enjoying the closeness a little. That evening, as Yugji walked in the garden, Lynn saw her again. He noticed she was still sad and asked if she was okay. She said she did not like the taste of the medicine. Lynn laughed and said he also didn't like bitter medicine. Then he suggested they go to the supermarket to buy some snack. In the supermarket, Lynn paid the bill. When Yugji moved to pay, she noticed he was drinking the same juice her ex liked. This made her feel a little sad again. After leaving the clinic, Lynn gave her a mint-flavored candy, saying she could eat it after the medicine to freshen her mouth. It was also good for her. The candy did not taste bad. Yugji thanked him, and they said goodbye. She then went back home. The next day, it was raining. Lynn ran through the rain to avoid getting too wet. Then he saw Yugji coming toward him, holding a rose and an umbrella. She seemed a little shy. She told him to hold the umbrella since he was taller. They walked together under the same umbrella in the rain. When they reached the clinic, Yugji was about to take her appointment, but was surprised by the huge crowd. The nurse explained that a photo of Dr. Lynn was circulating throughout the neighborhood. People were coming in large numbers for medical checkups and appointments because the doctor was young, handsome, and well-known. Some families thought he could be a good match for their children. That was why the clinic displayed his photo on the wall. After this, it was break time. Once all the patients left, Yugji called him, and he told her to ask the nurse to drop her at the back door. When Yugji reached the back door, she saw Lynn looking very tired. She asked about his condition and about his meetings with the family. Lynn replied that the whole matter had become very exhausting. Yugji also became curious why he wasn't married yet, even though he was at an age many people consider perfect for marriage. Lynn said he hadn't found the right person yet. Then he took her to the room and started another acupuncture session. Yugji fell asleep again. When she woke up, she noticed a new fragrance. She asked what it was. Lynn said it was a new scent, so she wouldn't get bored of the old one. He then gave her several prescriptions for medicine. Seeing so many medicines, Yugji felt nervous and asked if it was possible to reduce the number. Lynn asked her if she did not have money for them. Yugji said it wasn't about money, she just found the medicines very bitter. Lynn smiled and said that sometimes life itself is even more bitter than medicine, but we endure it anyway. He advised her to quietly continue taking her medicine. At that moment, Yugji took a small ring from her bag. She asked him to place it on her hand so everyone would know she was already married. Lynn thanked her for that. Soon after, the next patient entered, bringing a paper with details about his daughter. She asked what Lynn thought about his daughter, but when she noticed the ring on his hand, she asked if he was really married. Lynn confirmed. Soon, a rumor spread in the neighborhood that Lynn was married. Gradually, people stopped coming to the clinic, and it became almost empty. That night, Yugji's family asked her if she was dating two people at once. Yugji firmly denied it, saying she was not involved with anyone else, and these were meaningless rumors. But then they showed her a photo taken by neighbors where she appeared with Lynn. At that moment, Yugji decided to tell the truth. She told them she had broken up with her boyfriend. Her family was shocked, especially since she had been with him since college. This was emotionally heavy for Yugji. She also told them she was going to Switzerland to do her master's in hotel management. Her family strongly opposed it, saying that by the time she finished her studies, she would be too old to get a good job and people would assume she would soon marry and have children. Hearing this, Yugji became very upset and confused, so she left the house and sat in the garden. She pressed her hands to her chest, feeling the weight of her thought. At that moment, Lynn passed by and saw her. He stopped and said that pressing on her chest like that wasn't good for her. Then Lynn told her to get up and go with him for dinner. He took her to a small restaurant known for delicious food. They ordered the same dish, but Yuji's plate had no spicy chili. Yugji ate as if she were a very hungry child. With the first bite, she realized how tasty the food was. During dinner, Yugji shared her worries with Lynn. She told him she wanted to study abroad, but her family did not agree, leaving her confused and conflicted. Later, Yugji asked about his love for his work. Lynn shared that his mother had died of breast cancer, and traditional Chinese medicine had helped reduce her pain. This inspired him to become a specialist in the same field, despite his father's disapproval, which made his father strict with him. Sharing this made Lynn suddenly sad, and Yugji felt his sadness. Both of them walked quietly toward the garden, feeling the weight of their emotion. When Yugji returned home, she confidently told her family that she had decided to study abroad, and this was her final decision. In the end, her family had no choice but to accept it. Yugji quickly went to the garden to find Lynn and share the good news herself. When she told him, he became very happy and said he would take her to a place she would surely like. When they reached, it was very peaceful, with the sky full of stars. Yugji was impressed by the beauty and calmness of the place. Lynn thanked her for staying with him so late, but she noticed he still seemed a little sad. She gently asked if anything was bothering him and if he wanted to talk about it. Lynn said it was a long story, and he would tell her later when the moment was right. They decided to watch the sunrise together. Just before the sun appeared, Lynn had prepared a small breakfast, and they waited together in silence, enjoying the cool morning air. Meanwhile, a hotel guest loudly complained that his wedding ring had gone missing. He insisted the only other person in the room was the cleaning lady. Yugji immediately tried to solve the problem. She asked the man when he last saw the ring. He replied irritably that it was in the bathroom and suggested she go outside to search for it. Yugji, despite the rain, went into the garden to look. The man watched her and felt a little guilty because the ring had actually gone missing due to his own carelessness, not theft. Finally, Yugji found the ring hidden under a bush. The man thanked the hotel staff and praised Yugji, saying he would return to the hotel because of her efficiency and helpfulness. Later, Yugji felt exhausted due to her period. Her friend noticed and suggested that the fatigue was not only from the rain but also the pain. She prepared some warm tea to give Yugji a little relief. Yugji picked up her perfume bottle and inhaled its fragrance, remembering the morning at the clinic with Lynn, the calmness he had brought her, and the way he had cared for her. Just as she was about to go inside, a sharp stomach pain struck her suddenly. At that moment, Lynn arrived. A security guard had called him, and he quickly came to check on her. Yugji explained the pain was from her period. Lynn immediately took her inside the clinic to help and asked if such pain happened often. Yugji said it was the first time it had been so intense, possibly because of getting wet in the rain. While treating her, tears fell from her eyes. He handed her a tissue, but she pressed it to her face as her emotions were heightened by hormonal changes and the lingering pain from her breakup. After the treatment, she rested for a while and woke up feeling much better. At home, she opened WeChat and checked Lynn's profile. She noticed he had posted a licorice photo earlier and liked it, along with his other posts. Lynn noticed immediately, checked his phone, and asked how she was. Yugji reassured him she had taken her medicine. Lynn advised her to keep her phone away before sleeping and maintain a calm, peaceful environment to ensure good rest. The next day, Yugji told her friends about Lynn's caring behavior. Her friends speculated that he might have feelings for her, noting that a man who worries so much about a girl's sleep likely cares deeply. Yugji began wondering if he really liked her. Later, she received a message from Lynn with healthy recipe photos and asked if they were suitable for her father, who had high blood pressure. He replied that they were perfect. That evening, Yugji went for a walk and saw Lynn sitting and eating. She joined him, noticing he seemed a little sad. She asked what was wrong. He said it was nothing serious, just some thoughts he had to process. Yugji felt he needed someone to talk to, so she asked if he would walk with her. They strolled together quietly, each lost in thought. Lynn reflected on his mother's death and the difficult journey he had endured. Suddenly, Yugji stopped, as if she wanted to say something. A car sped toward them. Yugji panicked and grabbed Lynn. He instinctively held her in his arms, steadying her as if he had been waiting for this moment for a long time. That night, both felt the moment intensely. Lynn fell asleep easily, while Yugji stayed awake, thinking about him and replaying the memory. The next day, Lynn had a meeting with his brother's friend, which he did not want to attend. He told Lynn to go instead because he wasn't ready for marriage and wanted to focus on work, but Lynn refused, insisting it wasn't the right time. He said he would not go in his place and added that his brother was putting him in a situation he didn't like. Meanwhile, Yugji was also going to meet a young man because her mother insisted. When Lynn's brother met Yugji, he told her that he was also forced to attend and didn't want to marry. He had only come because of his family's pressure. Yugji said she was in the exact same situation. She thanked him because he had saved her from the awkward situation, as she didn't know how to handle it. Then he suggested they have lunch like friends and go their separate ways afterward. Yugji happily agreed. They quickly became friends and felt like siblings. He told her about his work as a doctor. She also shared that she was going through a difficult time and getting treatment through traditional Chinese medicine. She felt comfortable opening up to him. Later, when Lynn's brother returned home, he told Lynn about the meeting. He said the girl didn't want a relationship either, but they had become friends. He also mentioned that she was thinking about changing her medicines because of the difficult time she was going through. Hearing this, Lynn listened carefully and asked about her work. His brother said she worked in a hotel. Lynn suddenly realized it was Yugji, his heart filled with emotion. That night, when Lynn went to meet her and saw her from a distance, his heart raced as always. Yugji came closer and asked where they were going. Lynn said he had brought ingredients for a medicinal recipe and suggested they go to his house to prepare it. Yugji hesitated for a moment, but agreed quickly, saying she would go with him. At his home, she felt a little surprised but happy. Lynn gave her a medicinal drink and played some light, soothing music while preparing the food. As they ate, Lynn mentioned he wanted to talk about work. At the hotel where Yugji worked, a tour was being planned to raise awareness about traditional Chinese medicine. Lynn thought Yugji could be the organizer. She agreed and was ready to cooperate. When Yugji returned home, Lynn called and told her to finalize the schedule so that he could include his last-year students in the tour. Yugji said she would send all the details via text. Lynn advised her not to overwork and take some rest, knowing she would likely work late again. The next day, Yugji went to the hospital to get a contract signed. Lynn sat with her. When she dozed off and suddenly woke, he joked about how strange it was that she struggled with insomnia all night and then fell asleep at the hospital. He then showed her a small red cherry-like plant and offered her a piece. She tasted it and immediately spat it out because it was very bitter and strange. Lynn explained it was spicy, salty, and bitter to keep her awake and prevent her routine from being disrupted. Then they sat together and signed the contract. Lynn mentioned he had work to do, but wanted to stay a little longer with her. They sat quietly, looking at each other. Suddenly, his phone rang because he was needed in the clinic. When he left, Yugji realized she had forgotten to give him the contract. She ran after him and called his name. At that moment, she heard a child's voice saying, "Wait, Dad." Yugji froze, sensing something strange. She went to the reception to call him back so he could take the contract. Lynn returned, took it, and left quickly, seeming upset. Yugji felt sad seeing this. She then decided to go shopping with her friend to buy a gift for his son. While shopping, she told her friend what had happened. Her friend was surprised and suggested that the man might be divorced since he wasn't wearing a ring. But she also added that men nowadays often marry young. While wandering with her friend, Yugji received a message with a picture of food, inviting her for lunch at his home. Her friend warned her that he might want her to become the mother of his child, but Yugji politely declined, saying she had already eaten. After that, she and her friend continued shopping and picked out the toy she wanted to buy. They decided to have a drink to calm her emotion, as what she had learned about his life was shocking. That evening, when she returned home drunk, she sat in the garden hugging a chair. By coincidence, Lynn was passing by. He tried to help her stand, but she pushed him away and told him not to come near. Lynn asked why she was so aggressive while drunk, but she ran away, concerned for her safety. Then he noticed her family nearby. She called out to them for help. Her father got angry and told Lynn to stay away, even threatening to call the police if he came closer. They didn't know he was a doctor, so Lynn quickly left. At first, he thought she might be in danger because of the alcohol, but then he realized it was her actions that had made the situation awkward. The next day, Lynn went to the hotel where Yugji worked. They were about to start an awareness tour. He had come with his brother and another girl. Yugji had already met Lynn's brother, but Yugji's attitude toward Lynn was slightly cold, leaving him confused. Then Yugji gave him a gift, a children's toy. Lynn was even more puzzled, not understanding why she had given it. He wondered what was going on. Later, they all had lunch with the hotel team, including Lynn and his group. Lynn asked why she had given the toy. Her uncle explained they wanted to welcome him, but didn't know what to buy, so they chose a gift for his son. Lynn was shocked, saying he didn't have a son. Yugji explained that she had seen a child in the hospital calling him Dad. Lynn's brother clarified that the child was being treated at the hospital and was an orphan, which is why he called Lynn Dad. Everyone was surprised. Lynn smiled, realizing how the misunderstanding had occurred. Yugji couldn't stop laughing, feeling so happy she was almost dancing. After lunch, Lynn served them and took them to the hall with the herbal garden. He taught them about herbs, sunlight, and medicine. Yugji was delighted. She noticed the same red plant Lynn had given her before, the one that tasted bitter. She asked if she could take a small piece to joke with her friends. Lynn agreed. She gave it to her friends, who thought it was cherry, but when they tasted it, they screamed and ran after her in surprise. Lynn then took her to the herbal garden and showed her cinnamon sticks, explaining a lot about the plants. He said he wanted to take her outside to smell the trees. When they did, Yugji recognized the fragrance and said it reminded her of him. Lynn was surprised. She came closer, which made him a little nervous because he wasn't used to being so close to someone. The next day, he saw her in the garden with a bag. She took out a new perfume with a scent like the trees, so it reminded her of him. He asked why she hadn't come to the clinic recently. She said she didn't like meeting outside and preferred to come to the clinic. The next day, Yugji went to the hospital to find Lynn, but he wasn't there. She called him, and he said he was at home. When she arrived, she saw him cooking in the kitchen. Suddenly, she noticed the ring she had given him lying on the counter. Lynn was surprised, as he thought it was lost. In fact, he had kept it aside. When he came closer, he felt relieved, thinking she was asking about the medal, not the ring itself. She saw the ring, but wasn't sure if it was the same one. The next morning, Yugji woke up very happy, having slept deeply for hours. But she felt severe neck pain as soon as she got up. She decided to go to Lynn's clinic to get it treated. When she arrived, she walked in a slightly playful way, seeming to attract his attention. Lynn noticed and asked how the pain had started. She explained that whenever she tried to rest, her neck hurt as soon as she got up. Lynn assured her he would help and gently massaged her neck. Despite the pain, Yugji tried her best to endure it. Lynn wrote a prescription and said Yugji could either come to pick up the medicine or he could deliver it to her. Yugji asked him to bring it instead. Despite her neck pain, she stood up and struggled to walk. On the way, Lynn saw her standing ahead. She told him she wanted to do research on aromatherapy and needed his help. Lynn took her to his home. Once there, he pulled out an old article from his computer about scented herbal pouches. Yugji took it and began reading, planning to quote some part. But Lynn was staring at her face so much that he barely heard her. Soon, he felt sleepy and fell asleep. Watching him sleep, Yugji thought he looked very attractive. She slowly started removing his glasses. At that moment, his book slipped from his hand. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Yugji rushed to open it and saw Lynn's brother. Lynn got annoyed because it was the worst possible timing. Yugji decided to leave so they could talk alone. After she left, Lynn told his brother to step aside and not enter. On her way home, Yugji kept thinking about the strange events of that day. Then Lynn called and asked her to come downstairs since his brother had left. Yugji went down, and they went together to eat some sweets. He asked if she had prepared all her documents for the scholarship trip. Yugji said everything was ready. He asked when she would leave. She said February. Lynn felt a strange mix of emotions, realizing she would soon be far away. Yugji, too, couldn't sleep that night, her mind filled with the same thought. One day, Yuji's family arranged a meeting with another young man. Yugji went, but the boy didn't show up. At that moment, Lynn's brother saw her there. Yugji was calling the bill and telling the waiter that her friend hadn't come. When she stepped outside, she asked why he had come. He explained he was going to a university get-together with friends, and Lynn was there. He invited her along. At first, she hesitated because she didn't know anyone, but eventually agreed. Lynn told his brother to introduce Yugji as his girlfriend to avoid trouble. Inside, his brother introduced her to everyone as his girlfriend. The eldest person in the group smiled, welcoming her, and guided her to a seat, holding her hand. Yugji felt very shy initially. Then they played a word game, where each person had to say a word starting with the last letter of the previous one. When it was Yuji's turn, she had to start with L. She thought for a moment, then blurted out Lynn. Everyone laughed, and she felt even more embarrassed. Lynn took her outside to calm her shyness. He said they would go home together after dinner. After dinner, they played another game, but the atmosphere became a little tense. Someone asked Lynn about the rumors that he liked a new girl. Lynn admitted it was true and said he had met her in April. Hearing this, Yugji felt caught because she had also met him in April. Later, when they went outside, Yugji, feeling very drunk, moved close to Lynn and thanked him, saying she loved him. Then, impulsively, she kissed him. The next day, Lynn called her to meet him downstairs. Yugji came, but remembering the previous night, felt shy. Lynn noticed her sadness and asked if she was tired. Yugji asked if he really loved her. Lynn panicked, but explained he was waiting for the right moment to express his feelings. He thought this was the perfect time and gently held her hand. But Yugji pulled away and apologized, saying she wasn't ready for a relationship because she would soon leave for her trip. Lynn said he would wait for her, but his words didn't fully comfort her. Yugji suggested that maybe last night had been a misunderstanding. Lynn was stunned, feeling as if she had suddenly changed. Tears filled his eyes. He asked if this was her final decision. When she said yes, he quietly gave her medicine and reminded her to take it on time, then left quietly, feeling deep pain. Yugji, too, felt confused and torn, attracted to him but afraid to start a new relationship. That evening, Yugji sat in the garden as usual. Lynn passed by and came to talk, but Yugji, noticing his tiredness, said she didn't want to disturb him. Yugji was heading home to rest and quickly left. Lynn stayed behind, feeling like she was avoiding him. Later, at home, Lynn sent him a message suggesting that if she felt cold, she should boil some ginger and drink it. It was a small gesture, but it clearly showed how much he cared about her. One day, Lynn invited his brother and some students he mentored to his home for dinner. At the same time, Lynn's brother spoke to Yuji's friend and told her about the dinner. She asked if she could join Yugji at the dinner. The brother said he would ask Lynn first, and Lynn immediately agreed. When they arrived, Yugji hesitated to go inside because she felt shy, but Lynn heard them and opened the door himself, making Yugji enter despite her mixed feeling. While eating, Some food spilled on Yugji's clothes. Lynn told her to go inside and clean the stain so her clothes wouldn't get ruined. At the same time, a colleague came in and revealed something Yugji had been hiding from Lynn. She whispered to the colleague that Lynn had loved someone before, but the girl had gone abroad for studies and never returned. She warned Yugji not to make the same mistake because Lynn wouldn't be able to handle that kind of pain again. Hearing this, Yugji felt heartbroken inside, but thanked the colleague for the advice. As she stepped out, she saw Lynn standing by the door, having heard the entire conversation. She felt embarrassed and quickly walked away. Lynn, on the other hand, felt deeply sad. Then Yugji's friend arrived and asked Lynn if Yugji had told him anything. Lynn, surprised, asked what she meant. The friend explained that Yugji actually loved him, but was very scared of starting a relationship because she would soon leave for studies abroad. Previously, a boy had left her under similar circumstances, and she didn't want to go through that pain again. On New Year's Eve, while everyone celebrated with their family, Lynn decided to visit his father, who had remarried and was living with his new wife. The visit was emotionally difficult for him because his mother had passed away there. Still, he went. Meanwhile, Yugji was at home with her family, checking her phone, when she received a message from her ex wishing her a happy new year. She quickly blocked him. At the same time, Lynn called and asked how she was. Yugji replied, surprised to hear from him. He explained he just wanted to wish her a happy new year. They talked, feeling a little awkward, but happy inside. At midnight, Yugji video called Lynn. On the call, she had prepared a small cake and sang a birthday song for him. Lynn was deeply moved because Yugji remembered his birthday and showed she cared. She told him to make a wish and blow out the candle. When he did, he asked how she remembered his birthday. Yugji replied that she could never forget it and assured him it was special to her. In that moment, Lynn realized Yugji truly loved him. The next day, Lynn visited the village after meeting his father, checking if anyone needed medical help. On returning, he met Yugji and gave her some red beans. Yugji asked why. He explained that he had heard from her friend that she had gone through a tough breakup. He had experienced something similar and felt sympathy for her. Over the past year, he had improved his health with good nutrition, which had helped him greatly. That's why he brought the beans to improve her blood circulation and reduce fatigue over time. He advised her to take time to heal, but also said he would be happy if she recovered quickly. Yugji felt a strange mix of emotions. She wasn't ready for a new romantic relationship, but enjoyed being with Lynn. At that moment, Yugji received a notification from her university confirming her acceptance for an October trip. She wanted to tell Lynn that she wouldn't leave in February, but hesitated to send the message. At the same time, she noticed Lynn writing something on his phone, so she waited to see what he would say. Suddenly, he stopped writing and sent nothing, making her feel that perhaps both of them were hesitant to express their feeling. The next day at the hotel, Yugji contacted Lynn for advice about a sick guest. Yugji wanted to know if a sick guest could be treated with traditional Chinese medicine. Lynn advised her to bring the patient to the hospital the next day so he could check them. The following day, Yugji brought the patient to the hospital, and Lynn examined them. Afterward, he sat with Yugji and mentioned that he had noticed she hadn't done a full medical checkup in a long time. He asked her to come closer so he could check her pulse. Then he asked if she was still planning to travel in February. Yugji replied that she would go in October. When he looked worried, Yugji tried to pull her hand back, but Lynn gently held it again and asked why she had changed her decision. Yugji explained that earlier she thought she couldn't choose the start date of her studies, so she considered going in February. But when she realized she could choose, she decided to delay the trip until October so she could spend more time here. Later at the hospital, he sent her a message asking if she had eaten. She replied that she hadn't because her father was supposed to cook, but he hadn't that day. Lynn suggested meeting after work, so that evening he waited for her in the garden. While waiting, he started drinking alone and gradually fell asleep sitting there. When Yugji arrived, she tried to wake him, but he muttered some frustrated words in his sleep, remembering the time when he had felt attracted to her but then let go. Hearing him, Yugji remembered the night when she had also been drinking. Suddenly, he moved closer and rested his head on her shoulder. He asked her to take him home. Yugji helped him stand, and together they slowly walked to his house. As he tried to open the door, he asked her to turn her face away so she wouldn't see his password. At the same time, Yugji's ex arrived at the hotel. Meanwhile, Yugji's friend gave him a drink as part of the welcome. She deliberately gave him mango juice, knowing he was allergic. He understood the trick and refused to drink. Then he asked again about Yugji, but the friend said she didn't know anything, which frustrated him even more. Later, he stood in front of the hotel with a bouquet of flowers. The staff assumed he was a romantic man, though the reality was different. Eventually, the manager had to call Yugji and explain the situation, asking her to come. When she arrived, he calmly took the flowers and asked to talk outside. Once outside, she suddenly threw the flowers at his face, using the back of his hand. She regretted all the days she had spent worrying about him, the nights she cried, didn't eat, or couldn't sleep. However, Yugji had no desire to go back to him. She firmly said that even if the world ended, she would never return to him. That night, Lynn wondered if Yugji was asleep. Meanwhile, Yugji kept having bad dreams, haunted by memories of her past relationship. She woke up scared, struggling with tears and difficulty breathing. While trying to calm herself, she received a message from Lynn asking if she had drunk the red bean water. His timing was perfect. It came just when she needed help to move past her painful thoughts. Yugji replied that she would start drinking it from the next day. The next morning, she received another bouquet of flowers and a message from her ex. Without hesitation, she threw both in the trash. She went to her room and drank the red bean water. She took a photo and sent it to Lynn to show that she had kept her promise. Lynn replied, saying he would come in the evening to give her more. Yuji's eyes were puffy from crying, so she postponed meeting Lynn and made an excuse that she was busy with work. As she left the hotel, she was surprised to see her ex waiting for her. He asked her to have dinner together and talk. His friends tried to stop her, but Yugji decided to go with him to finally end that relationship. He opened the car door for her. During the drive, Yugji held her scented bag and kept smelling it, which confused him. When they reached a quiet place, she asked him directly what he wanted, and he said he wanted to marry her. She clearly said she would never marry him and would never come back after all he had done. Yugji stood up and walked away. The encounter shook her deeply, making it hard to breathe as the memories of pain and betrayal resurfaced. While walking, she realized her scented bag was missing, which increased her confusion. She couldn't handle the situation alone, so she called Lynn and asked to meet him at the clinic because she was too tired and needed support. At the clinic, Lynn checked her pulse and noticed it was irregular. He understood it was due to her meeting with her ex. Their eyes met, and tears filled Yuji's eyes. Without hesitation, Lynn helped her stand and started acupuncture treatment, hoping she could sleep peacefully that night. Meanwhile, her ex arrived. He asked a nurse where Yugji was. She said Yugji was undergoing a medical checkup, but he ignored her and tried to enter. Lynn stood at the door and stopped him, explaining that Yugji was being treated. The man tried to justify his actions, claiming Yugji was still his girlfriend, and he had come to reconcile. But Lynn didn't move and asked him to wait, explaining that interrupting the treatment could be dangerous for her health. Silence fell between them as they waited for the session to end. Lynn wasn't interested in his words. He was annoyed by the man's arrogance. Lynn said he had more important things to do and started getting dressed to leave. Before leaving, he surprised the man by saying there was no herbal treatment and Yugji had already left. Lynn saw her walking without her coat, despite the cold. He quickly took off his coat and placed it on her shoulders. Tears streamed down her face, not just from the cold, but from the memories that had been hurting her heart. Lynn tried to comfort her, saying the past is only one part of life. One must go through experiences to learn from them, and not let them control the future. He reminded her that she came for treatment because of what happened, and even that is a small ray of hope. At the hotel, she received a gift from her ex with a message claiming she had left her perfume bag behind, and he had made a new perfume for her because her scent faded quickly. As soon as Yugji applied it, she felt suffocated. She grabbed the old perfume bag, now scentless, and left. Now she knew what she wanted. Without hesitation, she went to meet Lynn. He was throwing out trash when she arrived. She silently waited for him. As he turned, he invited her home. She paused, then surprised him by expressing her feeling, her voice trembling. She told him she loved him and asked if he felt the same and would be her boyfriend. Lynn did not answer immediately, but asked if she was sure. When she said yes, he held her hand. She felt amazed that holding his hand made her feel like a child again. He took her home, and this time she walked with him as a girlfriend. They spent the night together, and the next morning, he dropped her home. She looked at him lovingly and said that when she loved fully and long. Lynn didn't need more words. He saw the same truth in her eyes that he felt in his heart. The next morning, she sent him a message wishing him a good day. For the first time in a long while, she realized she was genuinely happy. Her joy was visible, so much that her family noticed and felt happy. Her coworkers also saw her glowing and vibrant. Yugji had brought a bouquet for him, and when they met, she was surprised to see Lynn had also brought flour. Without delay, he took her home, having also prepared a meal for her. When he was cooking, Lynn sent a message to his grandfather, saying he was preparing a meal for his future granddaughter-in-law. Both sat down to eat, and while dining, he mentioned that he wanted to introduce Yugji to his grandfather soon, sharing that he often spoke about her to him. Later, while Yugji and Lynn posed for photos together, he suddenly kissed her lightly on the cheek. She was momentarily startled, but quickly reminded him they were in a public place. Returning home, they looked through the pictures. Yugji loved one so much that she set it as her profile picture the next day. Meanwhile, Lynn was at the clinic, oblivious that some of his students were secretly watching his face, lost in dream. One day, while busy cleaning, Yugji asked him to wash his hands first. Returning, he had a new ring in hand. For a moment, he thought she intended to place it on her wedding finger, but she put it on another finger, showing mild disappointment. He had expected a clear proposal. Yugji clarified that the responsibility was his, and he would have to take the next step. One morning, Yugji visited his house with a bouquet, knowing it was her mother's death anniversary. Lynn felt grateful and hugged her, saying his mother would surely approve. After returning from the cemetery, Lynn and his grandfather decided to plan a family picnic with both families to strengthen bonds. When Yugji asked his grandfather to let him take a picture with Lynn, he smiled and declined, saying the photos were not for him. But as they were leaving, he gestured for Yugji to stand with Lynn so a special picture could be taken. Suddenly, Lynn pulled her into his arm. Yugji was surprised, as if it were her first time, but in the next moment, she leaned closer to him, and that picture became their most beautiful memory. As soon as they reached home, Yugji held his hand, checking his pulse, and insisted he confess the truth. Initially, he stubbornly denied everything, trying to maintain his pride. But Yugji persisted gently. She revealed that all along, he had been pretending she was chasing him, while in reality, he had been pursuing her from the start. Finally, Lynn laughed, a mix of relief and affection in his eyes, and admitted the truth. He asked her to stop questioning him further and just enjoy being with him. The next day, while working at the hospital, he video called her. She didn't pick up immediately, but planned to call back. Suddenly, a student entered seeking medical advice, forcing him to hang up. Later, when they met, Lynn opened his arms to hug her, but Yugji surprised him by stepping past and ignoring the hug. Lynn looked at her, puzzled, but she stood firm and asked why he had cut the call abruptly. Prepared for this, he immediately showed a video on his phone in which the student explained that the recording was meant to clear any misunderstanding. Yugji laughed softly, realizing Lynn understood her nature and wanted to protect her from confusion, which made her heart warm. One day at the clinic, Yugji had a mild headache. Lynn carefully prepared rosewater to soothe her and invited her to his home in the evening. She reminded him she had work and should focus on patients, not evening visits, yet she couldn't resist going. Their nights together became calm and comforting. Meanwhile, a major medical conference was being organized at the hotel, which Lynn attended with his grandfather and father, adding excitement. Yugji was thrilled that Lynn's family would come to her workplace. During the conference, Yugji discreetly signaled to speak with him briefly. After it ended, Lynn waited outside and asked when she would finish. Learning she'd stay late, he insisted on dropping her home for safety. As he moved closer, she stopped him, insisting a distance be maintained during work. He smiled, admiring her discipline, and she returned to her task. That night, Lynn's father decided to stay at the hotel for the conference's second day, and Yugji ensured their needs were met. When asked about her relationship with Lynn, she stated clearly that he was her boyfriend. The next day, Lynn delivered a major presentation on cancer treatment with confidence, while Yugji watched proudly, her eyes shining with admiration. When he returned, someone handed him a gift from a fan, a painting. Unable to wait, Lynn immediately left to find Yugji and hugged her joyfully. After dinner, Lynn presented Yugji with an old bracelet without hesitation, explaining that his mother had told him to give it to the girl closest to his heart, and he was certain Yugji was that girl. As they prepared for bed, the playful shyness of their early days returned, much like during their first phone call. They teased each other about who would shower first, and Lynn ended up drying Yugji's hair himself. The next morning, Yugji was still sleepy. Lynn teased her for resting so well, and she lightly slapped him, making him instantly quiet. She went to brush her teeth, and Lynn quietly followed, hugging her gently from behind. One day, Yugji invited Ming and Annie to spend time together. She and Annie became completely engrossed discussing a famous actor recently staying at the hotel, unable to hide their admiration for him. He was tall and striking, and they hoped for a photo. Lynn and Ming sat nearby, struggling to hide their jealousy as they listened. After lunch, Lynn's curiosity and playful jealousy lingered. He decided to watch the actor's TV show to understand what had impressed Yugji so much. While engrossed, he noticed Yugji standing by the fridge and, inspired by a scene, tried to sneak up and hug her from behind, covering her eyes like the show's character. Yugji immediately caught him and asked what he was doing. Lynn stammered that he was just getting water. During their moments, Yugji received a call and was informed that her mother's condition had worsened suddenly, so Yugji rushed to the hospital to meet Lynn. Unfortunately, the test results were not good. The doctors diagnosed her mother with breast cancer. Felt overwhelmed and confused. She didn't know whether to be upset for herself or worry about how her father and daughter would react. Lynn tried to comfort her, assuring her that every illness has treatment and surgery could be successful. He also stressed that she should tell her husband and Yugji the truth, but her mother refused, deciding to face this alone with her husband. She didn't want Yugji to go through this pain, as Yugji was the most precious person in her life. When her father learned of the diagnosis, he immediately prepared for surgery, but decided to keep everything secret from Yugji for now. Meanwhile, Yugji felt lonely and sad, noticing that her family hadn't asked about her for days. She didn't know her mother was already preparing for surgery. On the operation day, Lynn stayed at the hospital and instructed the nurses to take special care of her mother, as she was very dear to him. The nurses assured him after surgery, the doctors came out with news that wasn't entirely positive. The tumor might have spread further, and a complete mastectomy could be necessary. They presented two difficult options: either remove the breast entirely or start a long treatment with uncertain success. Her father immediately rejected the first option, knowing it would mentally break her mother. That night, Yugji was asleep at home. When Lynn returned late, she asked why he had been out so long. He explained he was busy with work and quickly asked if she had eaten breakfast. When she said no, he offered to make something for her. The next day, Yugji made her final decision about her upcoming trip. She went to work and resigned to prepare for the journey. Her mother had undergone surgery, but a drainage bag was still in place to prevent infection, as she wasn't ready to tell Yugji the truth. She asked Lynn to keep Yugji busy and often take her out so she wouldn't suspect anything. She planned to reveal everything after the medical reports came in. However, things didn't go as planned. As they were leaving the hospital, Yugji unexpectedly arrived and saw them with her own eyes. She remembered that her father had said they had been out for days. She also noticed Lynn had been strangely busy recently. It was clear something important was being hidden from her. She immediately called Lynn to meet her at the hospital, anxious and uneasy. When he arrived, she demanded the truth and insisted he not lie. Lynn had no choice. He couldn't hide anything from her anymore. When he revealed the truth, it hit Yugji like lightning. She couldn't believe such a major thing had been kept from her, especially when she knew how painful this illness could be for a family. Lynn had lost his own mother to the same disease and had watched her die. Yet he had kept the secret to respect her mother's wishes and protect Yugji from the pain. She felt anger rising, but understood his intentions. He couldn't explain himself further, as she was right. He should not have hidden it, even with good intentions. Sitting alone, Yugji realized she might have been too harsh. Lynn's actions were driven by concern for her feelings, not deceit. Calming down, she went to him and apologized. She said she would handle professional matters while taking care of her mother, as she had resigned and could now fully focus on her. When Yugji returned home and saw her mother, she noticed that her parents had tried to hide the medicines from her, but she calmly told them she already knew everything from seeing her mother at the hospital. Her eyes then fell on the drainage bag, and she realized the full seriousness of the situation. Yugji couldn't hold back her tears. For the first time, she truly felt how difficult the situation was. She hugged her mother tightly and decided that caring for her would be her top priority until she fully recovered. Soon, her visa arrived, but Yugji completely ignored it and decided not to travel. Later, when they were together, he asked if she knew her visa had arrived and why she had kept it from him. Yugji didn't need to explain much. Her choice was clear. She wanted to stay with her mother until she recovered. Lynn disagreed. He reassured her that he and her father were taking good care of her mother and that her condition was improving. He reminded her that she could still pursue her dreams and should not feel responsible for everything. He promised to support her in every decision. After thinking carefully, Yugji finally decided to go and began packing for her flight the next day. She told Lynn not to come to the airport because he would be busy at the hospital, but in reality, she couldn't bear to say goodbye. Lynn, however, didn't let her leave without a small gesture. He quietly slipped a note into her bag, reminding her to take her medicines on time and eat properly. When Yugji found it, tears filled her eyes. She immediately ran to him and hugged him tightly. The next day, her family went with her to the airport. To her surprise, Lynn also arrived at the last moment. He couldn't let her leave without seeing her, even if just for a moment. After she left, they kept in touch all day through video calls and messages. That day arrived when Lynn was at the airport waiting. As soon as Yugji saw him, she ran into his arms. One snowy day, Lynn came to her with a wedding ring and a small rose. He asked if she would spend her life with him. He could no longer bear to be apart. Yugji couldn't hold back her tears, but said yes without hesitation. She had been waiting for this moment just as much. Their story ended in a warm, joyful wedding celebration, full of love and happiness.